In the 18th century, the peak era of absolute monarchy in Europe has passed. Europe in thought and culture were in the weak stage of classicism. People have been tired of the hypocritical lofty and exaggerated seriousness, beginning to realize to seek wisdom in the East. They yearned for the mysterious Eastern land. Chinese fashion therefore began to sweep Europe. In the Chinese fashion sweeping Europe in the 18th century, the most directly related to people's life is clothing. The flowing silk, rich Chinese elements, unique patterns, and traditional embroidery techniques that embody Chinese fashion can all be felt in European paintings. When it comes to the Chinese clothing, we can't ignore the prevalence of silk all over the world. Since ancient times, silk has been regarded as the symbol of Chinese civilization. It appeared in Italy as a cultural ambassador. After British scholar Peter Hopcock first described the silk in his book Foreign Devils on the Silk Road, Chinese silk was soon embraced by the Roman upper class, setting off a luxury boom and becoming a status symbol in Western society. With the expansion of European trade with China in the 18th century, Chinese silk attracted great interest among Europeans. The silk wind of Western countries swept the world quickly, and Chinese silk became a luxury item of the upper class in the West, especially the favorite dress of the upper class women. Many aristocrats wearing silk clothes can be seen on the murals of Rome. From the multiple Chinese elements of clothing in European paintings, we can clearly see the influence of Chinese clothing on Europe. In numerous European paintings, women's clothing patterns are remarkably similar to those on Chinese porcelain. As a wonderful symbol of the Orient, the traditional Chinese patterns, including animal patterns and plant patterns, aroused countless wonderful fantasies in Europe. For example, in the painting of the coronation of the Virgin by Sano Pietro in the 15th century, the phoenix pattern can be vaguely recognized on the red valance and the robe of the Virgin. In the 15th century European painting Saint Ursula and her Ghost, Saint Ursula's robe was filled with the Chinese traditional phoenix pattern. Lorenzo Veneziano's The Mysterious Marriage of Saint Catherine in 1359 and Paolo Veneziano's Madonna and the Child on the Throne in 1335, both of which show the Virgin wearing a blue robe with a golden lotus motif. There is a direct relationship between the changes of aesthetic concepts in 18th century European society and Chinese fashion. And the most telling thing is the style of clothing. From never acknowledging the beauty of nature, favoring square and symmetry, to believing that beauty comes from harmony and variability. It is clear how the Chinese style changed the aesthetic concepts of 18th century European society. French painter Watteau borrowed from Chinese painting in many ways, making French painting get rid of the rigid Baroque style and start the Rococo style. Watteau's paintings directly influenced European costume art. The clothes he painted were rarely ornamented, but were made of richly patterned brocades or sparkling plain satin. The smooth lines and understated luxury revealed in the rhyme are undoubtedly inspired by the Chinese style. Embroidery patterns in European paintings also reflect the influence of Chinese style on European clothing. Historian Thea pointed out that in Lyon, the center of the silk industry in France, designers created many wonderful floral patterns based on Chinese embroidery patterns. Under the reign of Louis XV, it was Madame Pompadour who promoted the spread of embroidery. Court embroiderers such as Valat established the Needlework Society, which provided various patterns of Oriental origin for court embroidery. The stimulation of market demand also led to a large increase in the membership of the Paris Embroiderers Guild. As Chinese style became fashionable, even more Chinese embroidered garments with dragons, phoenixes, and qilin were considered to be of indescribable beauty and hence become more popular. The clothes with Chinese fashion displayed in European paintings not only reflect the elegant and romantic lifestyle of Europe, but also show the full integration of Chinese and European aesthetics and artistic languages. The prevalence of Chinese fashion represented by clothing in Europe is not limited to art and aesthetic taste, but also reflects the interest of the 18th century Europeans in all aspects of Chinese philosophy, literature, art, and so on, and touches all aspects of European life.